so dark here. It's ridiculous. Right. Shortest day of the year or something. Anyway. Oh, it's Christmas Day, in fact. There you go. So I've been out here having fun in the sun. So the wall has been taken down. This one has been taken down, put back up again with the spacing that I want for this stuff. So this is all pallet wood, and we're probably going to play around with this and actually set fire to some of this. So I would like to put some colour into it to make it a bit interesting. It's all a bit bland, look. So maybe play with like food colour. Just noticed it's got green bits on it. I didn't notice that before. Yeah, it don't matter. So I might put something on it, whether or not it's like food colouring watered down. I might just see how it goes onto it. Also, you can get like, I've got like a burner. So just a flame, which is out there in the trailer. And we'll put that on it. Burning some of this wood will bring up some of the grain, because the softer wood, or where it's grown fast, in between the grain, will probably burn quicker than the short bits, which is obviously the winter, so the actual darker bits. So by burning it, it will just accentuate and give you contrast between light and dark, just so the grain pops out a bit more. Then we'll get some, I think, what did I just say? Food colouring. Dilute it a bit and actually just see what happens. So it's going to be a bit of an experiment, really. Right, all the OSB around the back now has been treated with, thank you Jenny, with friendly creosote that we kind of made up with a bit of diesel and engine oil and some residual stuff that I had left over. So that's all done, and all of the OSB, you can see I've put these in because there's a join behind there. So that OSB sheet that's here finishes in the middle of there. So this is just attached and obviously put in perpendicular to the 4x2 here. And the idea is that the insulation that I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to point over there. The insulation I'm going to put here is going to be 100 mil. So it's actually going to just compress around this and come down to 50 mil. So we're going to have insulation in here, rock wall, and then plasterboard over the top. So I've decided now to put like whatever it's called, a dry thingy, where you don't plaster it, drywall. I don't know what I'm talking about. Plasterboard on here. This is why I've had to go around and put all of these little corner sections in. Look, so that the OSB, that is actually supporting the OSB on the outside, but it's also going to support the plasterboard butting up there on the inside. So plasterboard all the way around. Got another corner in there, same thing. Plasterboard goes in that way and then that way, right the way around. I'm going to punch through there tomorrow and do another door. So I'm going to have another door exactly the same size as that one. There, I'll put that in tomorrow, and I'm going to make the doors actually go in there. So that's a temporary internal door, which is already starting to disfigure. So it's coming out, and that's all going to be reconfigured tomorrow to match this. So internal door, look at that. It's only been on it for 2 weeks, is it? A week? Can't remember. And it just separates, it will just fall to pieces. It's not ready for it. So I could have got some paint and just sort of sealed up all these edges, but there's no point. I'm going to make a door that goes on here. I'm going to make a door that goes on there. So I might as well make that aperture match that. And we decided to do away with the window, and we're going to power everything in here with LED lights. So there's not going to be any natural light in here. This is going to be my tool store anyway, in that section. This is going to be closed off. And of course, all the pallet wood I was just talking about there is going to cover this whole wall here. And then we'll put some insulation in it. So rock wool all the way around in this room I'm stood in. Right the way around. The ceiling, I've just put the joists in place very broadly, just to get a feel for what it might look like. I've got two things to consider. I've got this 25mm stuff. I bought it because I was going to put it under this floor, but this has actually got now the other stuff, whatever that stuff. I don't know the posh name for it, but super lightweight, good sort of thermal properties, but that's got better thermal properties. So that's underneath this floor, and it's really just to help help insulate. You know, we kind of dawned on us that we're only going to be out in this room here for probably only like 40 minutes at a time. So what's the point of going mad? I'll put 100mm rock wool right the way around in this room here. And then that stuff, I'm thinking of putting up here. It's 1.2 meters wide, so 120 centimeters. So this is where I've just been planning out how I can cut that stuff and slot it in between these, I suppose they're joists at this point, I don't know, these bits. So if I can slice that to 3 lots of 40, I was just trying to plan out, just, you know, at least visualize what that might look like if I start putting it up. So you can see I've been playing around with 60s and 40s. The two things to think of is whatever goes in between these, whatever insulation, that is going to be sort of a different size to what goes up on the ceiling, which is going to be plasterboard. So plasterboard is going to be about 1.2 meters wide, which is from here to here. But ideally, of course, I want the plasterboard to butt straight up against an edge there and there. But equally, I need to remember that the spacing for that stuff is as easy as I can get it. So what I don't want to end up doing is just cutting loads of that stuff, because I don't want to. So I'm just trying to work out, can I put complete boards of plasterboard up there that will end up finishing on one of these. So that one there's fixed, that's a truss, that one's fixed, all the other ones are floating. So can I put a board up and make it easy for myself? And that's not been very obvious, quite honestly. So I've still got a bit of thought to do about that, so I'll sleep on that, I'll work it out. I usually just sort of fall asleep thinking of these things and then go, oh, I know what I should do, and I can visualise it in my head. Right, everything else down here, not much to talk about. So I've got the wiring, so the door to put in tomorrow, and then I'm going to put in the light switch, which I'm guessing, I've not really thought too much about this, is just going to go straight up, straight across, and where would you go? Straight across there, I guess, and then down. I think it just keeps all the light circuit up there. So down here, this is, we've put all the plug sockets, minimum has to be 450 apparently, off the floor for building stuff. We're going to move this thing anyway. But we've actually set all of the wire and the plugs that are actually going to go in here. So there's one here. It should be drawn on the floor. I've just realised I've actually managed to not draw that one in. It should be there because it's opposite that one there. It's there somewhere. So we've got plug socket, and they'll go 90 centimetres up, which is where all the wiring is. So all these tails sticking out, there'll be, there's one there, there's a socket, which essentially means here. That's where it's going to go. That's where it's going to go there. And this, of course, wire was in the way to get down to this final socket, which is here. And if I get all that done tomorrow, I am toying with the idea of running a separate circuit off of that thing. So I might actually just go through again. Did I put extra holes in? I can't remember if I put extra holes in. If I was in a good mood, I would have put 2 holes in, one for the existing wire, and then for a second wire to come through, so I can bring another, what's it called? I don't know, but I actually prefer doing rings, but I was watching a video saying that rings aren't as good because there's more risks. If you get a fault, you can, in theory, not know about it. So, is it spurs on it they're called? Just sticky out bits that go around there, and then I'll split it from here and go along here. Equally, I'm running this wire down here anyway for that room. I'm going to put a socket on this side of the wall, so why don't I just put a socket there? I could also do it, have a socket here. So if I end up coming into my tool shed, which is here, right, what I can do is I can have a double socket here hovering about somewhere, perhaps a workbench right the way down the edge here. I've not really fathomed out what to do yet. When I'm stood here, I'm actually looking back this way thinking, well, because there's a lot of height here, I'm kind of tempted almost to build shelves right up here. You know, this is a little temporary workbench I've built just because I was getting fed up of having tools all around. I don't like having a messy environment when I'm working. So I built this temporary thing, and of course this just to chop some wood. And it's kind of making me start to visualise that if I put a bench across here and like an L, I could ideally have this door opening inwards, because I can't really be bothered to make it open outwards. I could do, I suppose, to maximise that extra bit of space in the corner, or just let the door go back, start from here, and actually put in a shelf unit here and just go right the way up. So this is 8 foot, so you know, why don't I go all the way up? We've got tons of these things, so I could actually just go right the way up and just have a whole wall there, which is whatever that is, 10 foot high by I should know this, look, I don't know, what's that, 6 and 1.2, 2.4 meters, so about 8 foot by 10 foot. And just make it out of this 2x4. That's all up there, by the way, is because I want it to air and I want it to dry as much as I can before we start mucking about with stains and just seeing what we can do with it, just to change the colour of that. I kind of like the idea of like duck egg blue and some greens maybe, or I don't know. I'll do what I'm told to do in the end by Kate, but I'm interested to play with some of the wood, and we can always get loads more of this stuff anyway. Right, now I'm just waffling for the sake of it. I can't remember what else I've done. I think everything else has just been reasonably trivial to comment on. So that's it. I'm about done for now. It's Christmas Day. I've had about 4 hours out here today, I suppose, which is bloody good therapy. Looking forward to taking this out. I'm just wondering if I've got another door somewhere. I'll have to go and look. I've got some glass doors. That could be weird, couldn't it? I've got some glass doors made of that, but no, they're full of pieces. Right, rock and roll. There we go. Look, I can't even point to the sky. It's so bloody dark outside. It's really, really, really dark. It's like proper winter dark out there. Look at it. That's a dig in there. Crazy, isn't it? Right, later taters. Right, here we go again. So the door's been cut in now to match this door. And I think I probably talked about it before. We've got a plan, which is over there, to use the burnt wood. Now we're going to try some acrylic staining. Oh, acrylic staining tomorrow when the paints turn up. So there's the door. Done. Another thing I've done is I've just put up with this brace that goes right across the middle there. 2 4x2s just strapped together. They're just screwed on either side to pinch it together, and it's laying out vertically because I want the strength, and it's gonna bridge from this good fixture point here and another one right on the other side there. And the idea is these, so I've reduced these, whatever they're called, cross-member bits, to every 60, which is kind of drawn up there a million times. And I've just been around drawing it up on this side just for reference. So maybe at some point I'll take loads of photographs, so if I need to have a look back and know where everything is, hopefully these will give me some sort of indication. And I'll probably do a video, which I think makes sense, where I talk through like all the dimensions, mainly for myself. So if I need to know where stuff is, I can come back, look at my own video and work out where everything is once it's hidden. So tomorrow, tapered plasterboard. I'm going to order however many sheets I need. I think it was like 10, I don't really know. I don't know, there's 6 up there. 6 up there, maybe, I can't remember this, I should know this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, about 8 plus 6 up there, about 14 of them. I'll work it out later on. So cold. Right, I've just been bought a cup of tea, so I'm just going to finish up and then toddle off indoors, and that's it. Might be time for pizza, chips, a little bit of salad, and then perhaps a little bit of smiley stuff. Right then, polystyrene is up there, 25mm, and on top of that is 100mm of insulation. Same stuff that's in the wall here, it's just split slightly differently. This is in 2/3 and 1/3 to go up here, whereas this is an entire roll like that, and that roll is split into 2 to get that width there, rather than split it into 2/3 and 1/3, which gives you that. So that stuff is up there, and then split it 2, and it's there. Right, there we go, it's coming along. Half the roof insulation done, which is quite good. I've had to redo all the wiring, I've had to kind of just reposition everything, and I've actually put in a ring here. So this is the advice, is actually not to put in a ring now. The advice is to just put in a whatever it's called, leg, I can't think of the word, I don't know, sticky out bit like that, straight off the consumer unit. If you put in a ring, which is actually what I'm doing, you can actually in theory have a fault on one half of the ring and you won't detect it with a detector. So they're suggesting that don't do rings. That's the thing. What's it called? Like a limb, a sticky, what's it called when you come out from, just like it goes one way and just ends. It's oh, it's gone, completely gone. Right, I'm tired, I'm really cold. But there we go, my wealth of knowledge on electrics. I can see a gap up there I need to plug, but that's what that's for down there, just so I can come back around afterwards and just fill it in. And there's some little bits just up over the back there, which I might do, but I might equally stick some expanding foam in this gap in there. Whoop. So push insulation here, and then actually just put some expanding foam in there. Haven't used any expanding foam yet, so that's quite a good thing. But and remember, it's a shed, right? It's not a house, it's a shed, and it's going to be used as well, you know, Kate says we'll use this for 40 minutes as a sauna. Sauna's going in the corner, and then this, of course, my tool store. So, and this is going to be open in here to some degree, which is why I'm insulating this bit. So it's a, you know, comfortable shed. It's going to be dry lined, so that comes tomorrow. It's all going to be plasterboarded, and then this will be the feature wall. And even the insulation on this wall, I could in theory do it after the event. We can put on all the wood on that whole inside of this wall and push all the sockets in and everything, and I can get to the whole of the back of this wall from this room. Good. So tomorrow that is ready for plasterboard. Well, all right, hang on, I've got to finish obviously insulation up there, and then plasterboard goes up on the ceiling, and then plasterboard right the way around, and we punch a hole through obviously for the door, or more to the point, so it won't plasterboard over the door. And then I don't know, on to something else, I suppose. We'll figure out when we get there. Right, who did that?